What's good, YouTube? You already know who it is, or maybe you don't. It's your boy Marcus Hill from Up the Hill Fitness back again with another video. And in today's video, guys, I'm going to be taking you through, I guess you can call it a squat series or like preparation to squat, whatever you really want to look at it as. But honestly, it's just this was a day I was in the gym and I was squatting. It was a leg day, and I always try to treat my leg days like I have one big lift that I'm really trying to focus on. And today's main lift was squatting. And obviously, I have like accessories that I do, like lunges and like step ups or like a hinge pattern, hip thrust, things of that nature. But squat, deadlift, those are always like my two main movers on a leg day. And this was my squat day. This was my squat day, leg day. And you see me right now doing some foam rolling. And I look at warm up like what is ideal for you and your body. I'm somebody who sits a lot for work, and I have flat feet. So, I try to always like loosen up my shins, my tibia, whatever you want to call it, my shins, my calves, my back, my mid back, my low back. And then I go into some movements like these lateral lunges. Sometimes I might do reverse lunges, but I also like to train in that like transverse plane. And lateral lunges are something that a lot of people don't do. And I know mine aren't the prettiest, but it's progress over perfection. So you see, I'm using the lateral lunge as a warm up to get my legs ready to go into a squat. So you'll see me warm up both sides here, and I did about like 10 reps on each side, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think I show 10 reps each on each side, maybe like 5 each side, but after the lateral lunges, I go into some box jumps, just light, just getting the muscles waking them up, whatever you want to call it. At the gym I go to currently, they don't really have a lot of like boxes, so I got to do what I can with what I have. Definitely. So I come from an athletic background with sport and stuff, so jumping is something I want to continue to practice. I haven't done it a lot recently, but I've been trying to program it in more when and where I can, especially when I'm warming up for squats. And then I get under the bar and I start moving the 45-pound squat bar, just really trying to focus on my footing. Um, you know, Corkscrewing my feet, pressing through the ground. I think one of the best things you can do to perfect any movement is to make lightweight feel like weight. Obviously, 45 pounds is not a lot of weight when you squat 225 or 315 or whatever it is you put on the bar. I certainly don't squat 315, at least not yet, but we'll see if I can get there. I start off with the bar, do a couple warm up sets, and then I go into some 135, just really focus on getting down low, powering through, getting down low, powering through. And also, one of the things that I really want to emphasize in all of my videos, there is no such thing as perfect form, because anatomically we all have different body types. You have to figure out what's the best form for you. And you do that through practice, repetition, and you always focus on technique, 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 technique. That's what SpongeBob said. Um, Shout out to all my SpongeBob people out there. But I'm really a huge proponent of integrity of form. You want to make sure you maintain your integrity. What does that mean? There's no arching of my low back. There may be a little butt wink, but that's fine. My knees aren't caving in, to the point where it looks like I don't have any stability. Like, I'm really just focused on pushing up the weight. And it's also like, I always say, and this is something I used to tell my clients, is like, you want to treat each rep like its own set. What do you mean by that? I mean that each rep gets the same respect and regard as the last rep. So I don't like cheating any of my reps. Here it looks like I'm doing, what is that, 185, and it's not super heavy for me, but it's a weight that I can feel. And once I start to get to that 185 range, this is where I really start to kick into like active sets. Like those first two sets you saw were really like just warm ups, presets, whatever you want to call them. And then I start to get into some real sets here. And I think that was actually 205 because here I got 225 on the bar. And again, the mental component. I'm always going into every set, one rep at a time, making sure my core is engaged, making sure that my knees are in place, my feet are like locked into the ground. I'm pushing through my feet, and I'm more of a quad dominant squatter, mainly being because I have flat feet, so my ankle mobility is not that great. So I have a little bit of a wider stance when I squat, um, and like just the way that like my body responds to squats. I feel it more on my quads, which is why I usually will superset or complement the exercise with some type of like glute dominant hinge. And on this day in particular, I did do some hip thrusts after this. So all in all, I love squatting. I love working out in general, in case you couldn't tell, but I love squatting. It's one of my favorite exercises. I think it's very foundational. I don't think it's necessary if you're somebody who has contraindications that don't allow you to squat. That is okay. But if you can squat, you should squat. I was even talking to one of my clients about this, where it's like, I believe you guys should be training legs twice a week. If you what you don't use, you lose. And legs are a huge part of your body. They actually, take up a lot of your muscle mass. So training your legs can definitely help you develop more muscle mass. I do not shy away from training legs. I know I'm not the best squatter in the world, but practice makes progression. Perfection is not what we're chasing here. We're chasing progression. So you see here, think I'm getting close to my last set. This was my last set. I banged it out. And now I want you guys to go ahead and try it out. If you didn't squat this week yet, tomorrow's Thursday. Get to squatting. Peace.